the Angels have announced that Mr. Shohei Ohtani is on the trade block. And by that, I mean they've said they're going to start listening to offers. Before, I think it was like, Ohtani, click. No, we don't want to trade him. But now they're willing to deal. I think they figured out that the writing is on the wall that he's not going to come back as a free agent. And they can't let him walk because a compensatory draft pick is not enough. Not nearly enough for what you could get for Shohei Ohtani. So that being said, I think we need to keep in mind that this doesn't necessarily guarantee that he will be dealt. Like I said, they're going to be listening. They're open to it. But the asking price is going to be really, really high for a guy who hits free agency after this season. I don't know. It's going to be really interesting to see if somebody ponies up and gives the Angels exactly what they're looking for or close to what they're looking for, because they are going to want a king's ransom and then some for Shohei Ohtani. So that being said, where do we think we'll go? Today, Monday, the Angels already said they're not going to trade him to the Dodgers. They don't want to deal him to the Dodgers because they certainly do not want to help the crosstown rival, the team that they are battling for TV ratings for. They've been a rival with for several decades, 5 decades now at this point, something like that. They don't want to help out the Dodgers at all, so they're not going to send Ohtani to the Dodgers. So they're off the list. Buster Olney of ESPN, I thought this was really interesting over the weekend. He said that the Yankees are the most motivated to make a deal for Shohei Ohtani. I'm curious what it is that makes them the most motivated, besides the fact that Buster only works for ESPN and pretty much the only team they ever want to talk about is the Yankees. And then if they're talking about an individual player, it's Shohei Ohtani, right? So maybe ESPN is the most motivated to pull some strings if they can to get Ohtani to the Yankees. But on the other hand, like, ESPN doesn't super care about baseball, so I don't know if they even could get involved. So, no, I thought that was really funny that, yeah, maybe they are the most motivated, but I don't know what makes them more motivated than any other team in the league, that maybe they'll overpay to get Ohtani. They'll send way too many guys over there, way too many big league ready players, and then they won't have anything left. I mean, I don't know. That seems like a George Steinbrenner move, not a Hal Steinbrenner move, but maybe it is. Maybe it is a Cashman move. Maybe that's what Cashman does. And Ohtani does finish the season in pinstripes, and it is only for the 2 months, and he doesn't go back because I don't see him as a Yankee. He's not an East Coast guy. We've seen several people say that over the last week or so. And I said it to Brig before that I felt like if he wanted to go to the Yankees, he'd be there already, right? I don't think anything has changed his mind in the time that he's been in the big leagues to make him want to go or want to stay a Yankee if he is a rental. But we thought that with Anthony Rizzo, and look, he's still there too. But anyway, like I said, we know he's not going to go to the Dodgers. As a Mariners fan, I know I've talked a lot about this on the show here, on the Big Show, and also on the Seattle podcast about Ohtani being a Mariner. But the thing is I don't see the Mariners selling the farm to get Ohtani now, because I think that if they are going to go after him, I think they feel like they have a real shot at getting him in free agency for a lot of reasons, which I don't think I'm going to go into those today, but I think that it makes a lot of sense. We talked about some of them before. Anyway, I don't think that the Mariners would be going after him in a trade for that's one reason. Like I said, they think that they're a viable landing spot in the offseason, but also because Shohei Ohtani, as much of a talent as he is, as much as he does for a team, he's not going to fill in the blanks and fill and make up the deficit the Mariners have right now for being a World Series team. Because if he could, the Angels would be in contention right now. Yes, they're 2 games under 500 going into Monday, and they're not. The wild card is not out of reach, where it's possible but not probable, right? Where it's like, yeah, they could make a run, but it just doesn't look like with that team. The Mariners aren't that way with the World Series. Like, they could go on a run and make the playoffs as a wild card team, but there'd have to be a lot that went right for them to be a World Series team. I don't think that between where they are now or where they would even be to be a playoff team, I don't feel like Ohtani makes up enough of a difference for them to be a World Series team this year. So I don't think the Mariners go after him. That was a really long-winded explanation. I apologize for that. Maybe I'll cut some of that out. But anyway, some teams that I think could maybe scare up something in their system somewhere. to make a trade. I think that we could see Texas making a deal. Cincinnati has a really good farm system. They have a lot of really young talent that they could deal for Ohtani. Miami has a lot of really young guys. I don't know that it's necessarily talent that, like, I don't know, maybe is like collectively they could send guys to Anaheim, but that's, I mean, what you're looking for anyway. Houston, Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay seems to always pull somebody out and make a deal. I don't know that Ohtani's the deal because I don't think they want to pay for him this year, and they're certainly just going to let him walk. But he could be the piece that puts them over the top and wins a World Series. And they're like, thanks, here's your ring. Catch you next year somewhere else, right? I think I said Cincinnati, yeah, and Arizona. Sneaky. Arizona could be really sneaky in this. I think that the Angels would be really motivated to stick it to the Dodgers in one way or another, and that is one way they really could do that. Is if the D-backs came with a pretty decent package, and the Angels are just like, you know what, you're in the same division as the Dodgers, you're competing with them this year. We'll send them your way, and good luck to you. Hopefully, things work out for you, and you end up beating the Dodgers because the D-backs are on a bit of a. I wouldn't even say a bit of a slide right now. They've had a tough stretch the last couple of weeks, but bringing Ohtani in, they need some pitching. Another bat never hurts, right? So I don't know. That'd be really interesting. That's one of my sneaky guesses, honestly. I would say the two places he most likely ends up. One is Houston. Houston always has a deep farm system. They can make deals for guys. And then the other one is Houston. I asked Brig. I texted him. I said, "Do you have a guess?" And he actually said Arizona as well because I brought it up to me. And he initially said the Dodgers. I told him, "Well, let me get you caught up on the news today. I know you've been out of it." So I told him not the Dodgers. And so then his other one was Texas. He thinks Texas because Brig is super high on the Rangers this year. And then again, he agreed with me on Arizona. That could be really sneaky. And I think if they made that move, they would go all the way this year. And I would be cool with that. I'd be fine with it. But baseball family, let us know where you think Ohtani is going to end up. Where do you think he's going to go? Not so much where you want him to go, because we all want Ohtani to play for our team, right? We all want the best baseball player who's ever lived. Don't at me. He is. It's not even close. Okay, and I'm a Griffey fan. So